Welcome back, people. Today I think I've cracked the code in creating the perfect way of handwriting your text in the center of the page. Now, there's different techniques out there and they show you how to do, they show you different techniques of how to do it. You could perhaps get rid of this here for a second. You could write it out and then do it several times and write it several times. I've written it once rough on a sketch on a little notepad, printed it out, right? Printed my poem. I wrote a poem, people. Here it is. I'm going to read it to you now anyway, so it saves a bit of time anyway. I called it I Love Trees. It may not be a poem, but either way, I love trees. The wind is cutting stronger than a gale and a breeze. The tree's branches are swaying side to side with anger. A violent storm has taken hold. Be bold, little one, and find shelter amongst the forest of tall trees. With calm and silence, going deeper into the forest. Give a tree a hug and hold on. I really do love trees. It may not sound like a poem, or is a poem, it's your choice. But either way, I wanted something quick and punchy. I thought, should I do one of the greats, or should I write my own? Let's get creative and write my own. Now, how do you then handwrite this on either a sheet of paper like this, which I've already marked it up, or in your sketchpad? I'll show you the sketchpad idea after, but let's go with a single sheet idea for starters. Well, the thing is, inside your word processing, like or Google, Word, etc., write your poem out as you would, okay, and then you want to center it, make sure everything's centered vertically and horizontally. Do that too. Now it comes to then, what sort of points are you making it? What sort of points are you making your size of your text inside the word processor? Now I worked out, if I work it out here, to bring that back. I wrote this text font is 26 points or 45 pixels and hopefully 12 millimeters in size. I can tell you now, it will never be, this typeface or this writing style I've got will never be 12 millimeters in size, because you're not writing to the top of the ascender to the bottom of the descender line. It will always be something either or. So it will always be 8 millimeters, between 7 to 8 millimeters each of the letters. And if you work out this text that I've been writing here, the lines for this, the lines for this text works out at 8 millimeters. Well, they're 7, and then the main body of the normal text I do on a A4 line paper, they're only 8 millimeters. So how that's worked out, I don't know. Don't ask me. I assume 26 points with my calculations will be 12 millimeters in size. No, they're actually, these come out at 7 millimeters high. This text. Let's put that aside. Don't need that no more. So these here, this handwriting or this text from the Google fonts is 7 millimeters high. The biggest letter is 7. So how do you write it into the center? Where do you start? So what I did was I printed it onto this paper here, the text from the Google. I then measured this from the top to bottom, so I know where my starting line will be. I measured it from the bottom upwards to the bottom of the line. And once you've got those two measurements, you know exactly where the top band will be, the bottom band will be, then the bit in between will be these guys. Now then on the side of each of the one's line, I know there's 12 lines, okay, there's 12 lines of text. So I measured from, if you can see that on camera, I measured from the edge of the paper, from the very edge of the paper, to the very first part of the letter, every single one of them, okay? So let me I'll zoom that in so you can see it for yourselves. You can just make it out that I've put all these things down there. You can see that? All the way down the edge. So I know where my starting point is, people. I know where my starting point is for when I start, and that is now replicated here. You can see that I've got these little lines. I know exactly where I'm going to start with every one. If I've done everything correct, I should be able to write my poem, which I'm going to put out of the way over there. You can't see it now, but there's my poem. Get up there, stay. There's my poem. I can now get my poem and hopefully then write my... That's not going to work there, is it? Well, I'm going to put it under there, then I can see it. That's better. Get myself organised. So when you come back in, when I count 3, 2, 1, I should have transferred the poem from the centre, which it is true centre, into true centre over here by handwriting it using these points, for which were measured from the edge of the paper to the first letter. So people, I'll see you guys in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, people. Wow, that was a brilliant experience, and I think I achieved it. Let me move that out of the way. So this is what I was writing. Remember, I measured from the side edge of the paper to the side of each one of these starting letters for each of the 12 lines where I need to start it, and I marked off, didn't I, on my new piece of paper, which I'm going to handwrite on it, where it was, so you know where I am. I've got the height where the first line is at the top, and I've also got the height of all the distance between the bottom of the line here. So if I've done all my measurements correct, it should end up in the centre. I've done 12 lines of text. I've marked 12 lines off. Remember these elegant script I did? I thought, sod it, I'm going to put a capital letter on every single line, regardless if it marries into the poem or not. I'm going to put every line as a capital letter, and I'm going to use this elegant script to do so. So you now know what where that's come from. Here we go, people. Get ready. Ta-da! I think that's centre, people. I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. Now, can you get both of them on screen? You can. Now, people, to make sure you get true centre every time, print it out on a if you're doing like a single sheet, then you want a piece of A4, clean, no holes, of course, if you want to do a finished piece where you want to put this into like a frame or something. And if you're doing it on decent paper and you want to write it on decent paper, you can then work out where you're putting your border styles, etc., couldn't you? And then that way, then it hasn't got to be this big. It could be even small if you wanted to, depending on what you want to try and achieve. You've got to adjust the point size of your text. But funnily enough, 26 points matches my style. How that happens, I don't know. Either way, I think I achieved it, people. But then I did want to try and do this sort of thing inside a finished sketchbook. I haven't yet found that sketchbook that I want to do it in yet, the A4 size. But I think I can achieve it. How then do you transfer this technique to a sketchbook? Let me show you that now. If you remember this sketchbook here, right? If you remember where we did, or I did, the border styles. I was trying border styles. Remember this one? Okay, there's your border styles. And then the next sheet of the smooth paper, I did these with the stencils. Remember? So imagine then us or me wanting to do it on this paper, which is fantastic. The furthest point or rows, if you like, is, forget these lines. I'm going to say that row's there. So let's just go with that. Not only that'll be 6, but if you work it out, this paper actually is not A4. If you put this A4 piece of paper on it, yeah, that's not going to work, is it? Because that overhangs a bit more. Plus you've got this little thing here. So if you measure this paper from the cut in, or this ridge, this cut, it is 19.3 millimeters. 19 centimeters, 3 centimeters, 3 things. So that's way over already. So I think what you've got to do, if you work it out, is measure this point here, which works out to say 6 centimeters, right? 6 centimeters. So if you put 6 centimeters on this, it will do it. It will do the border. but let's say 6 centimeters, but I know this is about 2 centimeters less than this paper anyway. So at 8 centimeters, I'm going to have it in the right position. So if I then measure on a new piece of paper, this is A4, right? But if you think about it, if you put 8 centimeters from here, 8 centimeters, I'm talking about 8 centimeters, it can't be 8 centimeters. Well, it is for that border, but if you imagine the first border, then, not that big one, well, you'd have to do it that, wouldn't you? 8 centimeters from that point. Well, that says 6, and then you're going to go 8, because this isn't A4. This isn't A4. You're dealing with a paper size, or the thingy size then, of 13.5 centimeters. So you'd have to put your margin to make sure you've got exactly 13.5 centimeters on this side. So you're playing with that. That's the size of your paper you're playing with. That's what I think. Yeah, I think that'll work, people. I think that'll work. Instead of doing the border, you know exactly that this is, say 13, that there's 13 and a half centimeters. You know that's 13.5 centimeters. You've got to get your paper to match this so that you then can have your text in the center where you want it to be. You know what I mean? So once you've got your size of paper that you're working with, where you want your writing to be, you've cropped your border out. You then center this vertically, and you center this horizontally. You should end up with what's here. This thing. When you've got this thing and you've done this right, seems a long-winded way, but to get true center every time while handwriting, this is the only way to do it. Marking down where the starts of the letters are, where the first start is, and you get results like that, people. So let me know, people, if you think I've achieved that and you're going to give this a go. And thanks very much for watching. Any comments, tips or ideas you've got to get true center while handwriting, leave them below. But I think I've done it. I think I've done it. So thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.